Hello students, I am Isha Mehdalata. In today's video, I will be discussing about scalar vector quantities and the concept of divergence, curl and gradient. So I would just give you a brief idea about these parameters. Let's start with scalar and vector quantities first. So starting with, what do you mean by a scalar quantity? Now scalar quantity means a quantity which has only magnitude and it is denoted or represented by an algebraic sign which can be either positive or negative. You know, the addition of scalar quantities of these physical quantities, it is very easy, or I would say it follows the simple rule of algebra. Why? Because it doesn't have any direction. Some examples of scalar quantities are mass, density, you can say pressure, volume. All these are quantities which do not have direction. Next, let's see what are vector quantities. So what do you mean by a vector quantity? It is a quantity which is having both magnitude and direction. Such a quantity is known as a vector quantity. A vector quantity always has a start end. So it has a starting point and it has an ending point. The direction of a vectors is generally denoted by arrows. Examples of vector quantities, you can say acceleration, you have momentum, force, electric field, magnetic field. All these quantities are vector quantities which have direction along with magnitude. Let's see how we represent a vector graphically. So representation of a vector, so graphically a vector quantity is represented by an arrow where length of the arrow means the magnitude of the vector quantity and the direction of the arrow means the direction of the vector quantity. So this is how we represent a vector. So here I have a vector AB wherein I can say A is the starting point, B is the end point, the length AB is actually the magnitude and you can just see that arrow is towards B. So arrow is in the right hand direction means the vector is pointing towards that direction. So in this, according to the diagram, I can say magnitude is either represented as mod of vector AB or you can simply write A into B in bold. That is equals to the magnitude or the length of the vector AB. And I have A cap into AB. It's a unit vector in the direction of this vector AB. Now we have seen what a scalar and vector quantities are. So I'll just compare these two quantities. So it's just a brief of what we have discussed. So starting with the definition, I would say a vector quantity is a quantity which has magnitude and direction both, whereas a scalar quantity only has magnitude. Coming on to the representation. So we represent a vector quantity with a number, the direction using arrow or a cap or cut and its unit, whereas a scalar quantity is just represented by number and unit. Then you have the symbol. So vector is represented by you can say a bold alphabet and an arrow pointing direction, whereas a scalar is just represented by the quantity and its quantity symbol. Talking about directions, so vectors have directions whereas scalar doesn't. And examples of vector quantities, you have force, momentum, you can say acceleration, whereas scalars have mass, volume, pressure, etc. Now, let's just discuss the product of vectors. Now, the addition or multiplication of vectors is not that easy as of a scalar quantity because vectors have direction also. So there are two basic ways of finding out the product of vectors. The first one of them is known as the scalar or the dot product. Suppose I say that I have two vectors A and B. How do I denote the scalar or dot product? So dot product is represented as vector A dot vector B and that is equals to AB into cos theta, where I would say this formula is known as the product of the two vectors. Here AB written in bold denotes the magnitude of the two vectors and theta denotes the angle between these two vectors. So depending upon this, let's discuss some cases related to scalar product. So suppose I say the two vectors I have, that is the two vectors A and B are parallel to each other. So if these vectors are parallel to each other, the angle between them would be 0 because they won't ever intersect. They are two parallel lines. So in that case, I know that cos 0 is equals to 1. So A dot B is equals to AB cos theta, but here theta is 0 and we know that cos theta is 1. So I have the dot product as AB. Suppose I take a case where these two vectors are perpendicular to each other. So the angle between them is pi by 2 or 90. In this case, I would say the dot product is 0 because I know that cos 90 is 0. So now suppose I take the third case wherein I have the two vectors A and B are opposite to each other. That is, I have angle as minus pi. So in this case, I would say the dot product A dot B is equals to minus AB. Now, let's just discuss the dot product of unit vectors. So how do we denote the dot product of unit vectors? So dot product of unit vectors, I would just consider that I have AX is a unit vector in the X direction, AY is the unit vector in the Y direction, and AZ is the unit vector in the Z direction. So I can simply write AX dot AX is equals to AY dot AY is equals to AZ dot AZ is equals to 1. And I can write AX dot AY is equals to AX dot AZ is equals to AY dot AZ is equals to 0. So this is how we represent the dot products of unit vectors. And keeping this in mind, suppose I consider two vectors A and B, which I have written in this box. So I can simply write the dot product of these two vectors is vector A dot vector B. I already know the dot product of unit vectors, so keeping the dot product of unit vectors in mind, I would get the dot product of these vectors A dot B is equals to AX BX plus AY BY plus AZ BZ. Now let's see what do we have as the second type. So second method of finding multiplication of two vectors is known as the vector product, or it is also known as the cross product. So suppose I have two vectors A and B. I would say the cross product of these two vectors A and B is defined as A cross B is equals to AB sine theta into AN, where I would say the magnitude of the vectors is AB. Theta is known as the angle between these two vectors. And what is AN? AN is known as a unit vector which is perpendicular to the plane which is containing these two vectors A and B. Now the different cases of vector product. So suppose I say A and B are parallel to each other. So theta is equals to 0. I would get A cross B is equals to 0. Now I'll just take the cross product of unit vectors. So cross product of the unit vectors. Suppose I have the unit vectors A is equals to AX into AX plus AY plus AZ AZ. Similarly, I write a vector B. So here I can just say that the cross product is A, that is entire vector, cross the entire vector B, and using the cross product of the unit vectors, you get the cross product of A cross B as AYBZ minus AZBY into AX, that is unit vector in the direction of X. We are varying Y and Z, so X is a constant, plus AZBX minus AXBZ into AY, plus AXBY minus AYBX into AZ. Clear? Now, let us just move on to the next topic, that is the interpretation, physical interpretation of gradient, divergence and curl. So starting with gradient first, let's see what is the meaning of gradient. Gradient of any scalar field V, it is a vector which represents both magnitude and direction of the maximum space rate of increase of V. What does that mean? So this is a quantity which is actually related to rate of change of a particular quantity, and it will always point in the direction where the rate of change is maximum. Let's see what exactly this means. So this is nothing but a rate of change, and it always points towards the greatest rate of increase in any particular field. If you want to denote a gradient mathematically, it is denoted as del V. Inverted del V is equals to dV by dN into that is max, because the direction is always towards the maximum rate of change into AN, where I say AN is the unit vector which is normal to the surface and it is always directing towards the highest potential or the maximum rate of change. Gradient of any vector V can be written as del v by del x into ax plus del v by del y into ay plus del v by del z into az. This is how you denote the gradient of a vector field V, where I would say A has magnitude and direction always where the rate of change is maximum. Now let's discuss what divergence is. What do you mean by the word divergence in general? Suppose I have a point, any quantity which is just I am representing by a point. So how that quantity diverges around that point. Suppose I have electrical field around a point A. So surrounding that point A, how is that electrical field spreading or dispersing? This will denote the divergence of that field. So divergence of a vector field A at any point is known as the net outward flux of A per unit volume as the volume about that point shrinks to zero. Because if the quantity is just spreading like this, the point we considered it will be having almost zero volume. The volume will be shrinking around that point. This is the meaning of divergence. So it simply measures how much the flow is expanding around a point, how the quantity spreads around a point. This is denoted or explained by divergence. Mathematically, the divergence is denoted as divergence of A is equals to limit delta V tends to 0. Now, why is delta V tends to 0? Because the volume about the point is shrinking to 0. That is equals to the surface integral of A dot ds by delta V, where we have the surface integral of A dot ds. It actually denotes the integral over the entire surface S, which bounds that volume, bounds the volume surrounding that point, which will be shrinking towards 0. This represents the outward flow. Divergence of a vector A, it is denoted as divergence A is equals to del Ax by del x plus del Ay plus del y plus del Az by del z, where you have A is equals to Ax into its unit vector plus Ay into its unit vector plus Az into its unit vector. The value of A depends upon the position of the point at which the divergence is evaluated. So about a point where the volume is shrinking to 0, where the quantity is dispersing, around that point we say that the value of this divergence depends. Then we have curl. That is the next thing we are going to discuss. What do you mean by curl? So curl of a vector field A, it is the limit of circulation of A per unit area as the area approaches to 0. In general, I would say curl is known as the swirling action because of any rate of change. Suppose I just give you an example of a curl. Suppose I have an electric rod, right? I just keep it in an alternating magnetic field. That means an iron rod I'm just placing in an alternating or changing magnetic field. What will happen to this rod due to the magnetic field? It will start rotating. Why? Because the rate of change of because the magnetic field is changing. So I would say the rod starts rotating. So this effect on the rod due to the changing magnetic field is an example of curl, because that has led to a swirling or a rotating action. So this is physically, I would say, what curl means. It gives the measure of angular velocity at any point or of the vector field, and it measures the amount of rotation of a vector field at a point. Just now I gave you an example, so it will measure how much the rod is rotating, how much the electric field is rotating, because the change in magnetic field leads to an electric field. So how much that electric field is rotating at a point, that is what is denoted, what is the meaning of curl. Curl of A, it is written as inverted del into A, that is vector A. It is equals to limit S tends to 0, because here we are considering that the area approaches to 0. 1 upon del S, you have integral A into dl. This was about curl, which is a quantity which would just demonstrate the swirling action of a quantity with respect to rate of change in any other quantity. So we have discussed what basically gradient is, what is the meaning of divergence, and what is the meaning of curl. So in today's video, we have seen what are vector and scalar quantities, how do we take the product of vector quantities, then we have seen what is gradient of a scalar field, and we have seen divergence and curl of vectors, wherein divergence is a quantity which actually relates to how a quantity disperses around a point. And if you talk about curl, it would just denote a swirling action or result on one of the quantity due to rate of change in the other quantity. Hope you have understood the topics I discussed today very well. Thank you.